All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is September 16th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Okay, let's go take a look at some charts today. Let's see how I made 15K with a 64K account. Markets are still bullish. Let's take a look at what happened today. All right, so let's take a look at, let's move this down. And let's look at the 10-minute chart. So you got a little 10-minute, I don't know, call it a one candle consolidation. Anyways, just moving over to the right. Price pulled off into this bear flag. Just really crappy price action today. Just comes down and just didn't go anywhere. Didn't bounce up. Just stayed right where it is, right at 660. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I'm just going to call that a 10-minute downtrend because we're in a bear flag, and I'll be looking for continuation into tomorrow. Just be careful. Got FOMC tomorrow, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm thinking price kind of moves back up to the upside. We'll see what happens with that. All right, 2-hour chart, and let's pick up a clean chart again. Okay, 2 hours, try a different one. Okay, on the 2-hour. Two-hour chart, still got a 2-hour uptrend. Yellow 3 EMA, still up over the white 8 EMA on the 2-hour chart. On the daily chart, new all-time high for SPY today. Okay, another new all-time high, okay? Up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, new all-time high, still bullish, still in an uptrend. 2-hour chart, still in a 2-hour uptrend. Into the close, got a 1-candle downtrend happening. All in all, just holding the higher ground up here. So there's 10-minute chart of QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. Okay, FNGU on the daily chart, new all-time high. Okay, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend right there. Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow puts in a lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17. Top of quadrant 4, consolidating over prior consolidation. That's bullish, top of quadrant 4, and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at IWM. Price action, lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17. Up in the middle of quadrant 4 up there, that's still bullish, still in an uptrend right there. Let's take a look at silver. Silver puts in new all-time, new 13-year high on silver on the daily chart. Gap up and then just melted off all day. Gold. Gold puts in new all-time high on gold, gaps up, and then melts off all day. Okay, so there's gold on the daily chart. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG putting in a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. If they take out this high right here, they will have an uptrend. All right, currently they're in a downtrend. Okay, they have to take out a high. All right. Currently, if they take that high out, they'll have the uptrend. So there's UNG on the daily chart, still in a downtrend, still in the middle of quadrant 1, down here in the middle. So that's downtrend and bearish and still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at USO. Price action for USO. I guess we'll call it an uptrend. You got a little TP up here, a little peak, made a higher high, not much. Not a very high bar to set, but uptrend right there, canceling the downtrend. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap over the 17. Up here in the middle of quadrant 3, again, just neutral, okay? Not in the upper third, not in the lower third. So that's USO, that's neutral. Let's take a look at technicals. All right, so that's technicals, and now in a weak uptrend, just a 1-candle uptrend. More right here. Breath, losing more and more breath every single day, okay? So just be careful. Market could get whippy without any participants in it. Price action keeps getting lower and lower, looking for price to come into this box right here to kind of signal a reversal is near. T2101 15-minute chart, losing more and more breath to this uptrend every single day. Okay, let's take a look at T2122. Well, we found ourselves no longer on the buyer's side of the midpoint. That'd be the 50-yard line. Price action down here stayed in the seller's chop zone all day with this little micro higher low, higher high. Little micro uptrend right there. T2122 spent the day in the seller's chop zone, making a lower low. All right, so that's not a good sign for the bulls. T2123, this will be the first day in a long time. T2123 does not print a new all-time high. Price action in a downtrend, you can see here making a lower low. Here's a low, there's a low, there's a low. We made lower lows. So T21 15-minute chart in a downtrend, still bullish up over the rising 200 SMA, still holding the higher ground and consolidating over prior consolidation right over here. So that's bullish and in a downtrend on the 15-minute. On the 3-bar, we're still in an uptrend. We'd have to take out this low in order to make a downtrend. All right, so we're still in an uptrend. We're up over the 200 SMA. You can see price action consolidating up here, holding those highs at the top of quadrant 4. So that's bullish and still in an uptrend on the 3-bar chart. Let's take a look at FNGU. Still consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish outlook up over the 200 SMA. This is the 15-minute chart. That's bullish. Today's price action just flat. All right. You got the VWAP from yesterday. You could probably put a line right here. You got the VWAP from today. Probably put a line right here. And you can see we spent most of the day between the two VWAPs, just consolidating over to the right, okay, in a bull flag. Okay, that's bullish going into tomorrow with this bull flag going right there. So that's FNGU. Let's take a look at how we made money today. Okay, let's take a look at price action, and we'll start off with, let's just drag these out here. All right, a lot of these I have some longer term. Okay, I got some Intel calls right here. You can see Intel on the daily chart is moving up and over to the right. Okay, that's a bull flag. Looking for this to break out to actually $31 or $30 up here. Got a measured move. All right, from price action here. Let's duplicate this and drag it up over here. Okay, so we got a measured move up to 30.74. Okay, so we'll see where we go with that measured move for Intel. So I'm long some calls. Those calls are 66 days till expiration. Push this up right here. Okay, so you can see I'm farming them out into strength. Okay, price is moving up in an uptrend. I'm going to farm them out into strength up here. Price action only got filled for $21 worth of gains on those. SPY 10 days till expiration, 670 calls. Okay, just inked out $25 of those. Okay, just traded the uptrend. If we take out the 10-minute chart, you can see there we go. All right, I bought the dip and sold into the rally up here on the 10-day. Actually, I'm keeping a lot of those for tomorrow's FOMC. I think it's going to be good. All right, we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be good. I got 21 puts. All right, I sold short to counteract the 21 puts I have long. So I have a debit spread going right there. Okay, so didn't make any money on that. Not ready to make it anyways. 665 strike SPY calls, 3 days till expiration. Again, I'm buying the dip and selling the rally here, buying the dip. Again, accumulating for tomorrow's price action, Thursday and Friday. QQQ, September 604 calls, all right? I'm short 2 of those as a hedge on the ones that I'm long, okay? That's it. September 670 strike calls. 3 days till expiration. I'm short 4 of those as a hedge. All right, these are both debit spreads, not credit spreads. So even if I get filled, I'm happy to give up my contracts because I will make money. All right, if price happens to close way in the money. All right, so I'm happy with that. 668 calls, 3 days till expiration. Got 20 of those. Again, I said I would buy the dip this morning and sell the rally. So I'm buying the dip, selling the rally right there. Okay, made $100 on those. September 600 strike, 3 days till expiration calls, made $400 on those. Again, tried to sell this morning, had a platform malfunction. I don't know what happened, but I had my orders up here and they wouldn't fill them. All right. I mean, it's not like they were filling everybody else's. It's like they just didn't know. It was a definite platform malfunction. Anyways, sold some at the highs up there, made some money, $413. Bought the dip, sold the peak right there. So there's QQQ. All right, QQQ puts. These are the ones that I have in a debit spread. Here's 21 short up here, 21 long there. Not ready to hand those over yet. 665 calls, 1 day till expiration, made 327 on those. Again, I'm buying the dip. I said I would buy the dip right at the beginning of the day. Said I would buy the dips yesterday, and selling the rallies right here. Okay, as price consolidates over to the right on SPY. 21K. All right, on these 661 calls. Got into these like about 1 o'clock when I noticed that my 662s didn't look so favorable after 1 o'clock. So I started accumulating these and selling the peaks of these 10-minute option candles. So buying the dips and selling the peaks of these option candles. Okay, so there we are with those. Made 21K. Lost 7K. These are the 662s that I noticed. Again, I tried to get rid of them all up here. For some reason, the platform just malfunctioned on this one as well. They were standing there. They were sitting there. Price candle went through it all the way up above it. And it just still said submitting for like, I don't know, for like a half an hour. It was ridiculous. And so price action, I wound up having to buy the low and sell the peak to try to get out of these with very little loss. Wound up losing 7,200. Okay, so that should have never happened. I don't know what happened, but TC2000 just couldn't get my orders. All right, so that's it for price action for today. That's all I got. I will see everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow's FOMC should be a wild and bountiful day. I'm picturing price action to probably rip to the upside, and it very well may rip down and then rip straight back up. So be careful. All right, anything can happen tomorrow. Well, I'll assuming it's going to rip right out of the open. Very well could slam down and then rip right back up. So be careful tomorrow. All right. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Tex. See you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Everybody have a wonderful evening.